KOWS 107.3 FM. This is Minkoff Shatoya, Fool in the Forest. And we're going to have some little technical adjustments here this evening, so just please bear with us. As you know, you are now listening to KOWS 107.3 FM. And also, we want to let you know that we are the voice of Sonoma County, West Sonoma County, and we are also your community radio station. We'd like you to remind you that we are also in the middle of our fundraiser. We'd like to ask you to please donate to our antenna relocation. We started a $30,000 fundraising campaign on May 1st to move our antenna and transmitter to provide a much stronger signal for Forestville, Grayton, Sebastopol, Cotati, Rona Park, and Santa Rosa. Help bring your community's voices to the airwaves by donating with your tax-deductible cash, checks, credit card, donated professional services, or construction materials and equipment. As of May 12th, 2014, we have reached our 6,000. We have reached 6,000 towards our goal. So please use the PayPal button on www.kowsfm or send checks to KOWS, KOWS Antenna Project, P.O. Box 1073, Occidental, California 95465. So one of the ways that we are also being able to be here on the air is by our underwriters. So I'd like to give a thank you to some of our underwriters here. We have Sally Tomatoes, KOWS Community Radio. Welcome Sally Tomatoes and thanks them for their support. Sally Tomatoes is a celebration destination featuring banquet rooms, cafe, and bar. They also offer catering for your own special events. Sally's is conveniently located in Sonoma Mountain Valley Village at 1100 Valley House Drive in Rona Park. You can learn more about Sally Tomatoes by visiting their website, sallytomatoes.com. They can also be reached at by phone, 707-665-0260, 665-0260. Also, KOWS Community Radio welcomes Sonoma Smiles, the office of Dr. Wayne Sutton, DDS, and thanks him for supporting community radio. Sonoma Smiles offers a sedation dentistry for all your needs in one location. They also specialize in both cosmetic and implant dentistry. Sonoma Smiles also provides safe mercury filling removal. Sonoma Smiles is located at Rona Park at 1330 Medical Center Drive, Suite 1. They can be reached by phone, 707-585-2555, 585-2555. You can also visit them at sonomasmiles.com. Let's do one more here. Shift and Shout Publishing. KOWS Community Radio thanks Dewey and Susan Watson of Shift and Shout Publishing for their support. Shift and Shout is a book highlighting life in West County by a newly transplanted couple. It is a view of our paradise part of the world through fresh eyes. The book is available on Amazon, from the website, or local bookstores. Visit shiftandshout.com for more information. Whoo! I did it. I got it in. All of it in. Okay, we have here in the studio Bowie. Wow. You want to say hi?
Hello. Good to be here in Cowland.
Cowland. I like it. So anyway, I don't know if anybody, most of my peeps are on Facebook, and we're finally doing a show that I've been very, very excited about doing. It's on Internet Connecting, and I'll just kind of read a little bit of what I posted on Facebook, and that will kind of help prompt this whole show as we go along. And so, you know, you're listening to Minkoff Shatoya, Fool in the Forest, and I'm very happy to have with me here this evening Bowie. Wow. And I'm just going to stick to Bowie after this. And our thing is that, you know, we all have them, relationships, and we're in them every day and in every way. And I love the fact that Bowie here is going to cavort with me and be my cohort and my co-host, sharing the air. This is a series that Bowie and I are going to create, and it is based on the significance of internet meeting, internet dating, and social media relating. This is also what I would am encouraging, an open forum, and we encourage your thoughts and participation. We are by no means any experts. Our conversations and our opinions come from life experience, along with all kinds of other experience and the research that we've done on our own. I think we're two people that just genuinely care about people, and the internet has brought about a very profound change in the way we relate to each other. And much like having a superpower, how one relates through the internet can be used for good intentions and purposes, and then there's the not so good intentions and purposes of using the internet when connecting with other human beings. So we decided we'd start this platform out on internet dating to just kind of dive into this pool. We both feel like there's going to be some silt stirred up from the bottom, and we do welcome your comments and stories on this. And whatever we talk about here will translate into any everyday relationship. And it's really, the bottom line is, be respectful and be responsible. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about us and the show a little bit. We would love to hear your thoughts and comments. We will be accepting calls sometime after about 7:30, 7:45. We'll let you know when the phone lines are open. And that number, just so that you have it right now, is 707-874-1073, 707-874-1073. And you can also, if you're on Facebook and you're a friend of mine, Minkoff Shatoy, you can go to my page there, my event page, and post any questions you have. I also have Minkoff Shatoy at sonic.net, and that is MINKOFFCHATOY at sonic.net. One of the other things that I have put on here is conversation on this subject. It's one of the things is it's for me, it's about relating from behind a screen of pixels, and how do we treat each other from pixels to person, and how much thought do we give to doing that with care or carelessness, and what is the effect that we end up having on each other when we do this. And so that's kind of a little summary about the show, and I will give some more guidelines about callers in a moment or two. But what I really want to do right now is have Bowie come on. And you know, Bowie has, and we have all kinds of stories and touch points here to dwell on and talk about. But Bowie, I just feel, is such a wonderful person to do this with me. He has a lot of life experience. He is a father of 3. He has grandchildren. From everything that you will hear about that describes all more of his life experience, he has a lot of people experience and a lot of different ways that he has been put in situations where he's had to use I'm sure very diplomatic ways of conversing with people and drawing out their needs, and also taking care of them, and also doing the business of hand in his business, and also in his own personal relationships. So, hey, Bowie, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Come on in.
Thank you, Minky. You know, even though it's a real privilege, I want you to know that I now understand why you call yourself the evil weasel.
Why is that?
Because you set me up with the first question, or the first bad red flag, and that is the guy talking too much. And so that's why I'm going to be very, very slow about this, so I don't get caught in the Venus flytrap.
Oh, really? But I thought I was talking too much.
No, it's really, really exciting to be here. And of course, you and I have a lot of fun, which I know we'll get a chance to talk about and share that sense of humor with the audience as well. But I maybe can start just by saying that I've been dating out of a committed relationship for probably about 13 years now. And during that course of 13 years, I've been on, just about most of the sites that are out there, from Match, eHarmony, Chemistry, Plenty of Fish, Our Time, and still on some of them too. And have had some wonderful, from a man's standpoint, wonderful relationships that have developed, wonderful dates, and it's been a very good experience, although it can be frustrating. Previous to that, I was married, as Minkoff said, for about 13 years. And had 3 wonderful children, and I was a single father after divorce of the 3 and raised my kids, and then had a blended family for another 13 and a half years with a lovely, lovely lady and her daughter that was quite young. I will also provide a forewarning, and that is that you should know that my shero in life is my mother. And so if that gives you any clue as to what my orientation might be as it relating to women and how to treat them, then maybe remember again that Mom was my shero and she was an activist. Also, just a little disclaimer so that you know in advance, Minkoff, I think this is relevant, is that I do come from a diversity background, and I am a half-breed, and that simply means that I'm Chicano, and I'm also Danish American. And that perhaps provided for a lot of life experiences that were very, very hard, but are very, very special to me in terms of being able to work with people of all different types and really try to be a champion, try to be an advocate for them with passion. And I still persist with that. But for right now, the most important thing for me is having fun on this radio show.
Yay.
And then also working with the rock and roll bands that I do and such. I think, Minky, you asked me to say something about some of my, I graduated in social science and political science with a bachelor's science degree. And so that kind of gives me some people skills background. I also graduated from UCLA Law School and got my Juris Doctorate degree a couple of years ago, and then formed a business, which I'll not go into, my monetized business, that I'm in business with my son, my eldest son, that gives me the opportunity to do all the fun things, and that's basically managing and promoting rock bands, being an activist for Chicanos, Native Americans, women, and musicians, and let's not forget them, and even doing crazy nuts things like being an officiant, marrying couples who desire spiritual weddings. But maybe with that introduction, that'll give you a little immersion into Bowie land.
Also, you're a singer.
I like to do singing.
You like to sing.
Yes. No songs tonight.
Oh, you can break out on a few little tunes if you like.
I might do that one.
Well, so this is the entry to, this is so cool. We have people on Facebook doing their little, yes, Jake, you may come back on my show again. We'll figure out a spot. And Lauren, she was an Occidental last night, but couldn't find me. Oh, well. Okay, well, that's enough of Facebook right now. I'm going to see how my talents are here. Here we go.
Woke up this morning feeling fine. There's something special on my mind. Last night I met a new girl in the neighborhood. Whoa, yeah. Something tells me I'm into something good. Something tells me I'm into something.
That's right. And sometimes when you're on the internet, actually you are into something good. And we'll also talk about the murky stuff too. But we're going to stay a little on the positive side here. And I just want to kind of talk about the fact that, well, first of all, I was completely appalled when my sister put me on Match.com one day. I came home and she goes, sis, you just got to move on with your life. And I just went ahead and put you on Match.com and I wrote out your profile. Now, if there's somebody who knows more about me than maybe me and also has a maybe perverted twist on me, would be your sister. So God knows what she said about me. I immediately went to Match.com and read everything and rewrote everything. And I was really surprised and shocked. It was, I would have to say, the very beginning, very negative. But we're going to stay here on the positive side. And the positive side, and the reason why I did that song, we're something good. No, I'm not even getting that right, am I?
We're into something good.
Which can happen. You can meet somebody really great on the internet, and sometimes it takes some time for that to happen. I let Mr. Bowie know that I actually had contacted him, I think about a year ago or so. And he was within my range. I loved the writing on his profile. I liked his pictures, and we just never met, and we didn't go beyond any emails. I don't remember exactly why. But what ended up happening was later on, we ended up having mutual friends on Facebook, yet another form of social media and relating. And Rick made a comment about, posted something on his page, which affected me quite deeply. And I wrote to him back pretty openly, wouldn't you think? Without, giving the whole thing away.
You were straight out there.
I was straight out there.
You gave it to me in your woman on top kind of approach that you can have.
Shh. No dominatrix here. No.
No, just an assertive woman. That's all I'm saying.
Assertive. I know. I just want to be playful, too. So we had this exchange. You were very gracious and kind. You saw that I exposed something of myself, but I did that in a way for the good of anybody and everybody. And it even took some time, even after that first heartfelt connection through email, for us to connect and actually meet each other face to face. And I do believe I actually preempted. Shall I tell him a funny story?
Sure. You forced yourself upon me. Go ahead.
Well, who doesn't want that?
No, it was with intent to please, I promise you.
I don't, to be very nice and cordial. Well, maybe not the start. Anyway, because I had such a great connection with Bowie here. One night I had a pretty upsetting night. I ended up at his doorstep. Okay, I know. I better get go. No, I should go on with this story. I should get this going. Okay, I'm trying to skate around a different thing because we do have a joke. I do say Efron calling because I showed up with a bottle of wine. And I just had a really bad night. I just wanted to come in and talk to him, and I just knew I could do that with you. So,
yeah, I thought it was a land shark.
I know. It was like, Avon Cully, lead shark, Candy Graham. So anyway, something good can happen when you do go online. And, now I'm going to do this. This is like the first time I'm able to be like really super playful. And so I want to talk a little bit now about getting yourself online. And we're going to let Mr. Marvin Gaye say a few lines about before you get online.
Hey, what's up now? Brother, what's up? This is a big party, man. Yeah, brother, like it. Solid. Right on. Hey, man, what's your name?
Mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we
And that's what we're about here, to bring some love in here today. So, woo, Minkoff is doing it. Can you believe it? Yeah. Like, what's going on here?
How can you go wrong with Marvin?
You cannot. So we're going to start off with this whole internet dating thing, and start at the beginning. I was going to do, originally I was going to do Sound of Music, Doe a Deer, because she goes, let's start at the very beginning. And so the very beginning, when you decide to do this adventure of start internet connecting, whether it's Facebook, whether it's your profile, whether it's LinkedIn, you're writing about yourself. And a lot of people have a difficulty doing that. And so there'll be profiles out there by probably very well-meaning people, and they're not comfortable with writing about themselves, and they only just put in a few lines. And all that stuff kind of has an effect on whether somebody's going to like approach you or not, and how you present yourself. And we all hate that 3-minute elevator speech, right? I mean, have you ever spent 3 minutes in an elevator with somebody? Why do they call it that?
I'm not sure, but I know they have cameras in there now.
Because we want to know what happens in an elevator besides the speeching.
I was thinking of Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Well, anyway, one of the things that I can say about putting yourself online and writing a profile. You know what? We got a caller here. Why not?
Sure.
Let's do this thing.
Go
okay.
For it. That's the
So,
whole purpose.
caller, here's the deal. Stay on the line here, and I'm going to have you on the air in just a moment. Hi, you're on the air. This is KRWS.
Hello, Minkoff.
Hi.
This is Kurt. Sensei Kurt, how you doing?
Hey, Kurt. You've been on too.
I have.
Uh-huh.
I was listening on the computer.
Yes. How we sound? Are you okay?
I'm studying and listening to Minkoff wax eloquent as usual, and her guest seems fascinating. I'd like to hear more what he has to say too. His background is very incredible. Law and Hispanic culture and all that cool stuff. So, I was just going to say that I think maybe you can touch on this, and I'll let you guys answer on the air.
Okay, cool.
So one of the things I like about internet dating is that you meet people you probably would not have met otherwise.
That's
and
right.
Simply put, you kind of put your parameters out there, and here's this casting of seed, so to speak, is everywhere, and you get all these little pictures. And that's where you were talking about, is that picture going to enlighten somebody to want them, is that selfie going to be worth anything, or is that...
And I think that women are generally far more genuine, far more expressive, far more honest. However, one of the things that does bother me is what violates that, and I see it every single day. The first primary picture is a picture that's about 5 years or 10 years older than the second or third or fourth picture.
They want to show their cute one.
Yeah, and that's just an immediate deal breaker for me.
Well, guys kind of do the same thing. So
We're a bit visual.
Yeah, it's okay. No, guys. Yeah, we're visual. Women are visual too. I know I am. It's part of my male energy. I want to get back to one other thing is, and we'll kind of touch on some highlights here. And by all means, anybody who would like to comment, please feel free to call in. It is 707-874-1073. 874 is the prefix for Occidental, and then 1073 is the same as 107.3, our call numbers here at Cows Radio. So if you're listening, you have something to say, a good story to bring to the program, please feel free to do so. Other than that, here at the Sound of the Moo, you are listening to KOWS 107.3. Okay, well, one thing I found out about the whole process, and you don't just get this out of just writing your profile, but this is definitely a place for self-discovery, because meeting people, one thing that happened to me when I was in high school, well, when I was 17, my boyfriend was 36. So there's little different things going on for me. And I was listening to Miles Davis and Chick Corea and Stanley Clark and John Lupani. So I was kind of in a different headspace. I wasn't hanging out with my peers. I kind of had a fairly challenging childhood that pretty much propelled me into a lot of adult situations. So by the time I was 17, I was already speaking a language that my peers didn't speak. And so I related much more to older people. And oh, who the heck doesn't want to go out with a 17-year-old who does woodworking and arc welding and rides a bike like heck, physically active. Anyway, I never did the social thing. I never really did that high school thing. I was really more into much more intimate relationships, and I mean intimate as in small, close relationships with just a few people. So I didn't do the big thing. And to me, when I got into the whole internet connecting, it was huge. It has been such a huge social learning experience for me. And when I say I discovered a lot about myself, I discovered a lot about myself because I didn't know how I would really react during certain situations because I hadn't been in them before. I mean, I just didn't have that kind of life experience. I had a different life experience. So it was a big thing for me to get out there. And I know that when people, and I've met with a lot of people, and we've only had like 1 or 2 meetings, and they would be first time being out on the internet dating. And I find that they got really scared at first. That usually those people like drop the internet dating, like, I don't want to do this. They just drop it right away. And I understand why, because it can be a lot in your face at one time.
One of the things you said, Minkoff, that really resonated too was the age difference of the 17 and 36-year-old. Okay, so you were an early bloomer. I was a late bloomer. Yeah. But, I think it's important because we have chatted a little bit about this, is that we really are welcoming people of all ages, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It doesn't matter to call in and engage because we are often coming from different perspectives, given age. And that's also relating directly to, how we draft our profile. So if someone, let's say, is in their 50s and they're thinking, well, I'm really ready for a long-term committed relationship, then they may decide to not do the scatter approach. And by that, they may be more directed, more targeted in terms of really who they're looking for. And that might be something to include anything like saying, hey, I only date progressive liberal women. Now, I have put that on my profile because that happens to be my socio-political background. I don't need a clone, a Bianca Jagger to a Mick Jagger, but there are certain fundamental things that are important to me that when I wake up in the morning and she's on my arm, if all of a sudden I find out that she is a neo-Nazi, I have got problems. So I put that right out there. But sometimes you can get a little too political and maybe turn off people because many, I have found, women will indicate that they're middle of the road as far as their political affiliation, or moderate, when in truth, in most matters, environmental, children, education, activism, other things like that, they've got a progressive side as well.
Yeah, well, you kind of want to, I would think that you're going to find most of that out through, that'd be kind of like a little more shakeout in your emails and your phone calls beforehand, and then finally a meet and greet. I would hope that when you wake up with somebody on your arm, unless it was one of those like sparkling nights.
You mean ask them if they're a Scorpio before you go to bed?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that on my profile.
I know. So one of my comedy skits, I refer to, I think about me having little Post-it notes, one in each bra pocket, and then one maybe further down, downtown, as they say. So that when you go for that pocket, you're going to end up with a note first, and the note will have a question.
There you go again. Steady.
Steady, girls. Daddy. And that question will be significant enough to make you stop what you think you're going to do. And you can answer that question first. So I've decided from now on, when I go out on really hot dates, I'm bringing Post-it notes and I'm stuffing them all underneath my undergarments. Does that sound good? I think that's a good thing to do. I'm going to suggest that.
Well, let me, on that question of lying and being genuine, let me ask this question for the viewers or the listeners and yourself as well. What about something that I found is that often people will, at a particular decade, cut off in their searches of their profile who they're looking for. So is there any situation where a person should lie on their age? I saw a person just the other day. I thought it was kind of cute. She said she was 58 years old, and then at the bottom of her profile, she said, "Oh, and a couple more years." I thought that was cute because she didn't want to miss the limbo bar and be cut off because of her age at over 60. And so she did provide full disclosure at some point.
I think that's okay. I would definitely give people some gray areas. Definitely for that reason. I mean, I'm approaching an older age. God forbid I'm still online anymore. For years and years to come.
I wouldn't worry about it if you're stuffing those notes here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, that's when I would worry, right? It's not like green, or you go collect $200 and go straight to go. Anyway.
So now the listeners know they have a half-breed and a pervert.
Oh my God. I wouldn't call myself a pervert. Where's my thesaurus? We can come up with a better word than that.
I was just talking about me.
Oh, thank you. God, that's great. Okay, good. You can do the pervert.
Do you think there's anything else in terms of genuineness and honesty in terms of drafting?
I think, okay, well, one thing is I'm not completely in favor of laundry lists. I understand that they are really, I think even I kind of want to know, well, what does the guy kind of have in mind? All right. Because sometimes that person has contacted me and I've read their profile with intent of trying to see what they're trying to convey about themselves. And there's been things in their profile, where I will answer them back and go, well, just to let you know, I was kind of reading your list, your laundry list, and these are a few things that kind of don't match up. I don't know if you're still interested in continuing our conversation, or are you really set on these things? Because if you are, well, then yes, we are done here, and that's the way it is. I personally think that there needs to be a balance between, yes, what you're looking for, what you have put out in the universe, and your totally, completely detailed list of this person that was fantastically born just for you. I can't believe it, but go ahead. It's your fantasy. I would rather meet someone as for who they are and discover just who they are, not to see how well they're going to fit with me. I think we'll figure out how well that fit is through our conversation and our exchange and us doing activities together, sharing time and activities together. I think sharing activities is very important because you get to see each other on a different level, and you're not really talking about per se relationships as much as you're figuring out, like going on a canoe trip, just getting the goods together and figuring out how you're going to meet and who's in front of the canoe, or if you got both two kayaks. It shows you how well do the two of you actually kind of naturally get along. And then, the rest will be just, I always like to consider it a discovery period. I just think it's really good to say, look, we have a discovery period, and I mean, if God forbid, if you could get beyond a couple of weeks or a month, that'd be great. Most people will talk about that too. The disposable people, that kind of goes with the laundry list. I think that kind of I think laundry list also creates this disposable people concept. Well, you didn't fit my laundry list. There's plenty of people online. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. You, me, we may not fit our laundry list if that's what we're really intent on doing, but here we are doing a radio show together. Mm-hmm. Actually, our development of our relationship has taken over a year. And here we are.
Unbeknownst to me.
I know. It's okay. I've had my eye on you, baby. I knew you'd come around. I knew you'd see things my way. The Minkoff way. The evil weasel.
What I like what you're saying is that we're all different. And so if you have a male chauvinistic pig, okay, well, maybe he's being genuine to put some of that stuff straight out there that you've talked to me. Now, that's not respectful and that's not responsible.
But who he is.
If he has to say he likes to watch those football games every Sunday and that's the number one thing, then, maybe he has to be real. And I think that that's what you and I have been talking about. I will say that for my part, the laundry list for, let's say, women who are over 50 years old, where quite frequently and hopefully more and more and more when there's income equality realized, in fact, for women, they're successful. They've accomplished most of what they wanted to accomplish in large part. Maybe they've gone through a marriage, a relationship, children. They have activities. They have friends. All kinds of things that make their life content. But they're looking for what you, Minky, and I are looking for, and that is a long-term partner. Now, others are not looking for long-term partners, and I know we'll get to that. But I will say, as a person who's looking for a monogamous long-term relationship and also letting it evolve and develop, where I think the flexibility, as you refer to, becomes very important. That laundry list of 10 items, and we men do get those things. It's like, oh boy, I thought those final exams were over, and this isn't even a pop quiz. I shut down.
Yeah, it does. And then that is definitely something women, and this is why I have you on the show, to have that male perspective, this is why I wanted a man and a woman to do this show. I have my own things to say about how I've experienced men online. And it's good to hear. I would like women to hear how they have been experienced online. And that, yes, in fact, if you become very steadfast to your list, then I think you just really miss out on the person and you miss out on more experiences. And that there's a lot more to be gained, even just in developing a good friendship with someone, because they may have a friend that you wouldn't even meet on the internet, but you met through that type of situation. So we can all end up being, there's so many times that I've met somebody and gone, wow, this is really great. And I found out they're not on Facebook or anything, but found out that we actually have mutual friends. It just kind of seems like that's how the way universe kind of works things out anyway.
I also find it's interesting how destiny can kind of develop, and not to springboard too quickly into the whole area of dating before we're done with actually the profile. But
oh yeah, sure, go ahead. We can jump around.
If I were just to make Please. One comment on what is my goal in terms of a first date, in terms of the internet dating or otherwise, just dating. Okay. Yeah. Oh, number one, I want to show the lady a wonderful time. That's what I like to do. And I know that in the process, I'm going to have a wonderful time too. But I also want to see if there's a connection. I want to see if there's a glimmer of a connection without asking questions that are necessarily too bold or too invasive, but to see if there's some possible mutual chemistry, a connection. And then third, and it really is relating to what we're talking about, if there's anything in our discussion where they're kind of complete and total deal breakers. And in that respect, in other words, something that is so fraught with danger that we probably over a period of time won't be able to take care of those things. My point being is that laundry list may not be of 10 different items. There may be some items in there that shouldn't have to be in there, and we only know that until we get to the next step, and that's going on that first date.
And also having that phone call beforehand. And, to me, the best thing in the world is come up with good questions. So, and I'm still formulating. I think I suck at dating. I think I can say the word suck. I don't think it's on the 7 words.
Well, it depends upon the definition.
I think I'm pretty bad at it. I give it my best attempt every single time. I've really actually rarely dated as much as barely gotten even by what I would even consider a discovery point of discovering who the person is that I've spent, some days and some times and emails and thought. I mean, there a lot of energy goes into this internet connecting that gets taken for granted. And for those of us who are on there with intent and integrity, you get a little tired of being taken for granted. And we'll talk more at some point in this whole series of shows is how I'm going to school ya on what messages I don't respond to at all, because now I know it's just a waste of my time. And I've done a show in the past where I broke it down. And even though when I put in a fairly generous search of who I would accept looking at, I will come up with, let's say, 500 profiles. Well, let me tell you, you can cut that in half right away, because half of them are old profiles and half of them are people that forgot their password, don't know how to delete their account. They're not there. And they're also people that I think it's kind of funny, because I do know I've seen some of these people online and know that they're already in a very nice committed relationship. They still keep their profile up. I don't know why. Just in case? That's terrible. But that's the way they want to run things. That's okay. And so I never really know what the message is there. Did they just forget their password? They're just like, I don't care. I'm not going to take it off. So anyway, when it really comes down to, and I'll do the formula later on, when I came down to what my formula was, there was about 10 people really out there on that given time. And the other thing that we'll talk about, timing is everything. I had sent you a message, wrong timing, wrong way of meeting you, period, But
your laundry list contained 20 items. That's
it did not.
I kid.
Okay, I had socks. Definitely, I like clean socks and undies.
That might have disqualified me.
And you have to floss. Okay, and you must have an inner tube at least, so that we can go to the river at least once. And I don't mean the inner tube around you.
We understood that.
Oh, did you really? Okay, I thought I had to correct that one.
But let me, just with what you were saying, Minkoff, let me give some good news, some great news, some optimism
yes,
for the men out there, because the brief formula that you just indicated in terms of what your views were could well be correct as it relates to men. I mean, I genuinely believe that women are fundamentally more honest in all regards, including on the internet and social media. And so my experience,
you guys get the good part.
Well, I'm not, chortling over the deal, but I'm just telling you.
Should.
I'm just saying that I think that all the platonic lady friends I've talked to who have gone through the internet experience, who are rightfully so disillusioned with the process, I'm telling you that it's not this. I wouldn't create the same formula of people that don't exist and they're just kind of malingering and things like that for men as it relates to women, and that's really unfortunate. And maybe this program can assist, as you would say, school. Others would say, "How dare you?" Well, then don't listen.
or write an email. I don't care. I think it's great. Write an email and I'd love to express any opinions, especially if somebody was like, I don't believe in you. I don't, that's okay. Like I said, we're not experts. We're just here giving our conversation and our opinion. And so we want to try to put as much positiveness on this, but sometimes it's really not a positive experience. And we'll get into the murky part from time to time. And I definitely welcome any comments through Minkoff Chatoy at sonic.net. And also callers, 707-874-1073. 707-874-1073. And you are listening to KOWS 107.3 FM. So I'm going to do a few thank yous for our underwriters because we are here and on the air. KOWS is only here. We're your community radio station because of your generosity by becoming a member, by donating, and also becoming a underwriter. Just to let you know that all the KOWS DJs here, we volunteer our time. We do not get paid. We actually have a membership fee here to be here. One of the really great things about being on community radio station, and especially COWS, is when you look at our website, please go to presentators, look at our different DJs and all the eclectic episodes, platforms, series that we have going on by all the different DJs, the music series that we have going on. Also, wherever you see a cow on the schedule, that's a place that if you are interested in becoming a DJ and having your own show, we could help you with that if that's what you'd like to do and you have something really cool and unique to bring to the table. So let's thank some of our underwriters. We have the Diana Center, and that's DHYANA, Diana Center. COWS Community Radio thanks the Diana Center for their support. The Diana Center is a holistic healing, health educational center and community workshop space located in downtown Sebastopol. They're at 186 North Main Street, Suite 220. They're upstairs in the Big Basso building. They're open from Monday to Thursday through Friday. They can be reached at 823-8818, 823-8818, that is 707. You can also visit them at the online at dianacenter.com, and that is a DHYANA center.com. Also, we'd like to thank SolarWorks. You can have the power and make a difference. So for more information, go online to solarworksca.com. And that is the capital C and the capital A. So solarworksca.com, or by phone, 829-8282, 829-8282. Also, we would like to thank the West County Herb Company for their support. The West County Herb Company provides locally grown organic herbs, soap, lotions, salves, tinctures, and medicine-making supplies. They're located a half block north of Howard's Restaurant in downtown Occidental. Believe me, downtown Occidental is fairly small here, folks, so you can find the West County Herb Company here. Many Rivers Books and Teas. We love their support. Thank you, Many Rivers. You specialize in tools for spiritual practice, including books, candles, and sacred art. Many Rivers carries fine, loose tea and teaware. They also host spiritual talks and classes. Many Rivers is located at 130 South Main Street, Suite 101 in Sebastopol. You can find them online at www.manyriversbooksandtea.com. You can reach them at 829-8871, 829-8871. Woo! Thank you. Hey, how about if we take a little music break?
That sounds good to me, depending on the song.
Really? Okay, well, how about try a little tenderness?
I think it'd be perfect. Put the Oat Man on.
Put the Oat Man on. Oh, God.
Oh, she may be weary. Them young girls, they do get wearied wearing that same old shaggy dress. Yeah, yeah. But when she gets weary, try a little tenderness. Yeah, yeah. Oh, man, man. You know she's waiting, just anticipating for things that she'll never, 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 never possess. Yeah, yeah. But while she's there waiting, and without them, try a little tenderness. That's all you gotta do. It's not just sentimental, no, no, no. She has her grief and care, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the soft words, they all spoke so gentle, yeah. It makes it easier to bear, yeah. You won't regret it, no, no. Young girls, they don't forget it. Love is their home, happiness, yeah. But it's all so easy.
Yeah, you gotta try some tenderness, and that's what we're talking about here, folks. We'll also talk about the those things that you scrape your knees on.
You mean our special purpose?
Oh, give me a break.
Sorry, Steve Martin. Sorry.
Yeah, please figure out your special purpose and write it on your profile.
Just don't take a selfie and put it on the profile.
No more selfies, please. Just really hand your camera over, please.
What I've learned from you on this first segment is don't consider a date bringing two Pliny's to the person's house. Is that correct?
We're skating on thin ice there, baby. Yeah, well, you know, Avon calling. All right. Yes, we are making light of something that just had recently happened, and I think it's okay, folks, so get over it in case anybody's offended. Just, sometimes we need to make light of all our mistakes that happen in some way.
I'm just talking about a beer.
All right. Great for you. Fine. All right. Hey, Bowie.
Yes.
Bowie. Wow.
Yes.
You had some good points there while we had our little commercial break of music. Writing your profile. I'll just kind of spew out a little bit about what I think about profile writing. First of all, this does give you an opportunity to exercise your writing skills. Just talk with somebody about what you should write, but you should really do it in your own words and how you write. Grammar. Well, I'm going to steal a little of your thunder here, Bowie. I'll let you have. Okay.
Go for it.
One of the things that I do is rewrite your profile every now and then. Add new things. Take these out, because you never know what's really going to touch the person that you're, that could be looking at your profile. Update your pictures. Change your little title. A lot of sites don't let you change your username. But just put something in there, a little story about something that happened in your life that was kind of describes a little bit of the essence of you. I think is always good. So those are little tidbits on when you're doing your profile writing. Just remember, change it up, mix it up. Don't let it be stale. Be active with your profile. I know some people have said, "Oh, you've been online for years. What's wrong with you?" There's nothing wrong with me, and there's nothing wrong with anybody, because nowadays people have been on Facebook for years. Is there anything wrong with them? Anyway, so because like I said, sometimes it's really just timing. Somebody was in a relationship at that time, or not. Or, one thing that happens, and we'll talk about this, is when you are in a serious life transition. That would be meaning to me surgery, new job, moving to a new home, going through a lawsuit, or other kind of impacting situations. Do realize this does bring out different parts of you, and you may end up viewing the person that you contacted or contacted you. You may end up viewing them or acting differently, and it could just end up being a hurtful situation all in all in the end, because when you are in transition, that's a great time to just kind of put your profile on rest, or at least say, you know what, I'm going through a tough time right now. I'm open to friends and conversing, but I'm not going to be, I'm going to try to stay within these boundaries, and you might need to ask for help on that one too. So, hey, Boy, what do you think about profile writing?
I like that last comment,
okay.
And quite frankly, and I'll come back to the profile writing, because I think that's an important one, and often a real roadblock that doesn't allow people to go forward. But, as you were saying, there are life situations where the timing isn't right. And case in point, and keeping complete privacy, we were talking just the other day, 2 days ago. I'd sent an email to somebody in Sebastopol. There's a lot of people in Sebastopol, and essentially said that I like music, and I sent my profile. I like Japanese food and fun with friends and music and musicians and going to the entertainment center. And essentially, I say something like, "I'd love to chat. However, if you deem it appropriate, here's my telephone number. I would be glad to call you if you would like to have my phone number. It's up to you." Now, I said, "Warm thoughts, Bowie." And for my part, I actually gave my first name. And for my part, she was initially interested, but today I got an email in the morning. She said, I just got my last child off to college.
Yeah.
And I am so stressed out. I really realize that I'm just not ready for dating. I just really jumped in too quickly. And then she ended it, and I've yellowed this with her little comment. It says, "Again, It does an ego good to hear from someone. Thanks.
Yeah.
And I think it relates back to what you were saying is if we can treat this, I don't call these virtual friends. I don't call Facebook people virtual friends. I think we've had a little discussion about that. To me, these are real people.
Yes.
And the more that we can treat them with respect, the better. But, going to some of the things in terms of writing, if you go to someone to help you write, if you're having difficulties, guys, women are often great writers, and they're coming from it from a woman's perspective. Go and necessarily have some advice in terms of writing. They get it. And I've had women come to me and say, will you help me on this part of it because you're a man? And so I do it. Things that are important often that you might want to consider. Do you want to have somebody actually maybe proofread your profile? Right. And I say that because maybe that just doesn't make any sense. But for some people, and again, I don't have an income level that I put down that I want to be with. I don't say that they have to have gone to college. The two wisest women I've ever known are my mother and a certain wonderful lady that I was with for 13 and a half years, and it wasn't my wife, that, quite frankly, never went to college. But I will say that if somebody starts every sentence with, so, that's gone viral, or irregardless, or these ones, I can't handle it.
I haven't done it. I haven't done the so, but I might want to do those other two. I like those, irregardless.
I'm just saying you may want to consider having a spell checker help you.
Grammar is important, folks. Sorry. And using all capitalizations and no punctuation marks. It's a telltale sign, and we can all kind of just up it a little bit. Just go ahead and give yourself that opportunity to come up to the plate and just go, look, I'm going to do this really well and look good. Look your best. I will have to say, and when I say look your best, that's like you don't want to come to your first meet and greet with your torn up sweatpants on and disheveled hair. I don't mind knowing what you look like that, knowing that you look like that when you get out of the river or the bathroom or wherever you are. But, we all want to have a little, feel like it's important. There's importance in meeting, and your profile is your first importance in meeting someone. It's your first impression. So
I would say with that, if I can, Minkoff,
yes.
is that when you said do something exciting, do something different, sometimes it'll bomb. One time I put one together that I thought, boy, those calls are going to come in.
Yeah.
And it was a total bomb. It was a loser.
Do you mean it was a loser because you didn't get anything, or it was a loser because people actually contacted you and said, what the heck?
Well, I wasn't trying to get anything. I was trying to get some responses back as far as emails, and it just didn't resonate when I thought it was special. But that kind of
you're talking about messaging.
But no, I was actually talking about my profile.
Oh, your profile. What you put on your profile? Okay.
And then another thing one might try. I do stream of conscious prose.
Ah, yes.
Well, that may be fine, but I got a little crazy nuts and put a stream of conscious piece of prose about love and things like that. Very sincere. I had some women friends who were platonic lady friends that I knew that said, that's a little schmaltzy. That's a little out there, Rick. And yet even today I have, as the end of my profile, it's a piece from Miss Saigon about finding Kim. And maybe that ain't working either. We're here single.
Well, there's always intentional communities, that'll be the next on the list. Forget the whole profile dating thing. We'll just have to come up with our intentional communities with people that have good intentions and want to be around the same kind. Well, anyway, so folks, I think we said enough about the profile writing. The next thing on the list, and there's always still more to say about anything when it comes to this whole internet relating, And you can, please feel free to call us at 707-874-1073, 707-874-1073. Also, you can email me, minkoffshatoy at sonic.net, and we'll bring forth any of your questions. You can do that anonymously that way, because if you email me like on... I will always present any questions, whether it's off of Facebook or email, as an anonymous. I'm not going to say this is from so-and-so, unless you want me to say that and you put that in your email and your post. Other than that, I will always make it an anonymous message or question. So, the next thing on the list, you've done these great pictures. You made sure you didn't do the bathroom selfie. You got your friends to take some great pictures of you. If you say you're humorous, I love seeing a picture of you smile. I think it's kind of a little funny when I read a profile and the headline says, "I'm funny." And the picture is really super serious. He is seriously funny. That's what I'm getting. As my friend says, serious as a heart attack. That is not to diminish heart attacks. But so you got your nice profile. You don't have to divulge everything. Just a few things that are important, just so somebody can kind of get a little feel for you, so that you don't end up having people bark up the wrong tree. It's embarrassing when, to me, sometimes I think to myself when I see a profile and it's 2 sentences, I think, well, I don't know. It's a big risk. I put time and effort when I contact people. So I actually do not approach anybody lightly, because it's my time also. So if I only see a couple sentences, then I'm thinking this person either doesn't really know what they want. And let me tell you, my experience is when people don't know what they want, you will get hurt. You'll get dumped. You will get, I'm just going to tell you straight. This is the schooling. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to do a lot of use and I'm just going to put it on the line. You're going to feel used. This is something, okay, I'm going to dive into this because this is really super important. And this really is one of my very biggest messages about being online.
Tighten your lug nuts, get ready for an overhaul.
God, thank
listeners.
You. God, thank you. Bowie, you know me so well. I saw you adjust your pants. Yeah, he's tightened the belt there.
That was just a little Jim Carrey. No, I put my safety belt on.
You did. That's what you were doing. I understand. Using people. Okay, we're going to go into a little murky part here. Using people. You don't want to be used, and this is the schooling folks, okay? Even the most educated, well-intended people that I've met online, that would be men, when they don't know what they want, oh, let's just be casual, let's just see where it goes. Okay, I can hang with that. That's not bad. Grab your kayak and your Budweiser and go in that would be a Pliny for me, into the boat and, just have some fun. But if the person does, some people will actually, let's see if I can get this concept to you. They go online, they hook up with people, and they're really actually not ready to hook up with someone. They're not ready to really embrace what you might have to offer, what the potential of the relationship has to offer. They get scared. They're in the middle of a move. They're in the middle of a career change. They're in the middle of half a dozen projects. Yes, there is that one too, where people are just bored and they're just looking for their Friday night flirtation. And believe me, you won't hear from them again. They're done. They're moving on to the next one. This is where you can get used on the internet. And there's a whole, we might do it. Let's plan on a show on that one. I mean, let's come up with some good music, Bowie.
Using?
Yeah. Use me up. Oh, we'll start with that one. That's okay. Bill Withers. Please jot that down.
Okay, use
Thank
me
you.
up.
Use me up. We're going to start we'll
Use
do a
me
show.
up.
But
You
the
sure-
thing is, I'm going to lightly touch on this now. I'm going to pull back a little bit. The thing is you got to ask good questions, and it's what I call a dater be aware domain. Be aware, but also beware domain. You got to ask good questions of that person. And you know what? If a lot of their answers are, well, I don't know, you're dealing with a time bomb, and you are the one that is probably going to get dumped, hurt, left in the dust. All of a sudden, there'll be all these flurries of texts and emails and sweeties and honey pies. And one day, boom, that's it. Because here's the murky side. The internet does cater to a part in people's brains, even the most well-educated people, well-intended people that do great things in this world will end up just totally dumping you for no reason. They're off the face of the earth. And, we all have abandonment issues. But I think if there's one thing I could please request, people stop using people for your boredom. I always know Monday morning when I get an email, hey sexy, hi, how's it going? You know what? They didn't read my profile, nothing. You want to text? They are just looking for somebody to fill their day up with some entertainment and tantalizing conversation. But believe me, when 5 o'clock rolls around, they're gone. Because they didn't really have any intention in forming a communication with you. They just wanted to use you.
What's your feeling about texting?
I think texting is a beautiful thing when you already know each other and you just want to send little sweet nothings, maybe once or twice during the day. Hi, I'm going to the grocery store. What can I pick up? The little stuff. Texting as your first point of communication, as your first point of learning about each other, absolutely not.
And why is that?
I think it's shallow. I think it is selfish. I think it is a very one-way communication. And it certainly doesn't appeal to the person of me that has integrity when I enter into a possible relationship. And everything's a relationship. I'll start with that. But a possible friendship or connection. And so when somebody just wants to text me, I will tell them right off, we're done. Game over. To me, it feels too video game-like, virtual game-like, and I am not going to expose myself to someone who doesn't have a picture, only wants to text, will not call me on the phone and talk to me, and doesn't have any intention of meeting me. You can know this person within 5 emails, 5 texts. If they never go beyond what is should be reasonably accepted by somebody who really wants to go forward, if they just want a text buddy, say it. Say it. Speak your truth. Don't play people. Say your truth. I'm only looking for a text buddy. Thank you very much. It's not me. Move on. I hope you find what you're looking for. I really do. But it's not me. So let go.
Do you think that might be a little different dependent upon age, generational?
I think for probably young people, the whole texting thing is they definitely have something going on that I don't have going on. And that's their dealio.
For you, it's impersonal.
Definitely. And I don't want to divulge all kinds of information about me on a text message. If I have not met that person, I don't know them. I mean, I'm a writer. I have too much to express.
Well, not to interrupt, maybe the callers will have some thoughts about that too.
Yeah. So 707-874-1073. Please give us a call here this evening. It's Minkoff Chatoy. And Bowie, wow. I like to do the wow.
My last name.
I love it. All right, so communication. Let's dive right into that, communication. And communication is very important. I think the first thing, one of the first things I try to establish right away is what is the person's comfort and their mode of operation for starting out communication. And if their first thing is, I'm only going to text you, then I let them know, no, thank you. I like to let them know, well, this is how I like to do it. That doesn't mean that's how it's going to go. I'm not into dictatorship. I'm into co-creating. So what's yours? Where do we meet in the middle?
And for my part, though I believe in a relationship of parity, ideally, I do believe that there is a place still for gentlemen. And in that regard, that's why I said earlier, a person meets somebody online initially, and they're also communicating, just initially, just interest, a flirt or whatever. And so maybe they are talking with 10 other people. So what makes you all of a sudden stand out? And all I can offer for my part is I found if there's somebody that really does seem to be special, then I'd like to be able to get on the phone and speak with that person if they find it comfortable sooner than later. I want to hear their voice. I want to communicate. I want them to know that they can feel comfortable in talking with me. And so I probably do less messaging these days than saying the following, what I just said earlier. And that is, here's my phone number. Call me anytime that you like. If I can't get to it, I'll call you back. But if you would like to have me call you as a gentleman instead, please provide your phone number. Again, if you prefer that we go slower and that I email you, I'd love to have a personal email so that I can send you some pictures.
And here's mine. Okay, so, Bowie, you do the right thing. Okay, on my end, I get the message. Hi, read your profile. I'm interested. Okay, great. Hi, read yours. I'm interested, yeah. And then several more little nothing emails that are just hi. Volleys, what I call like empty volleys. And finally, I have to get them. I am so surprised how many times I have to go, okay, now you've pushed me to the point where now I'm kind of frustrated. And I have to go, look, if you would like to really talk, can we either go to an email offline and also to a phone call? And would you please be kind enough to show me that chivalry has not died? And would you please be kind enough to provide me a fair exchange? And I would love it if you went first. You will not believe how many contacts totally died. 50%, more than 50% will die right there. They won't provide their phone number. They don't want to do a fair exchange. They don't want to be the gentleman. And to me, that is absolutely, I'm like, okay, then you're here to play with me. So guess what? We're done. It's hurtful. It's absolutely hurtful. It's so great when you get that. I had a poem about, oh my God, I got, when I look at my inbox and I've got a message, my first thought is, oh my goodness, is it going to be a surprise package with balloons or is it going to be a freaking bomb? Something that I have to struggle with and pull teeth with and finally go, you know what? You're not serious. Goodbye. I'm so sorry. Please don't waste. And sometimes I put on my profile, don't waste my time. But guys, no, she's so serious. Forget it. I'm not even going to try to contact her. She's not even any fun. Whatever. But then, I have to sit there and go, okay, so I fend off the knuckle draggers.
Yes.
What my problem? But unfortunately, hey, Mr. Bowie, guess what? That's what women get. I would have to say over 50% of the men out there, educated, highly educated guys, well-intended, they don't come up to the gentleman plate. They really don't.
It would be curious if other female listeners have had the same kind of experiences that you're describing.
Hi, ladies. Come on aboard.
And can make any suggestions. They can even take a whack at me, too.
Please do. Okay, I don't know what happened to our callers here this evening, but anyway, we'll get some definitely. I'm sometimes a lot of people just don't call because they're really super interested in the program. They don't want to interrupt it. I've had people contact me after a show and let me know that they're just like, it's so interesting. So when you come down to communication and the messaging, that's your first point. I've also put something in my profile. You know, guys, sometimes because I do have a balance of male and female energy, I will be the one that contacts you. And I'll say, look, I read your profile. These are the things that resonate with me. Would you be open to a conversation? I'd have to say 50% of the time, I don't get a response. I've also looked at on a couple of sites, they have favorite lists or meet me lists. So these are kind of one of those kind of poke type things that where the person actually pressed a button on their computer that said, yeah, I like this person. Now, even those people I have contacted and said, wow, I don't look at my favorite list every now and then, but I saw mine and I read your profile. You put me on your favorite list, so would you like to have a conversation? What I call dial tone. Brrr, flatline, crickets, creak, 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 nothing on the other end. We're done. That's when I kind of want to basically hide their profile and just go, look, I never want to really see that person again, because to me, the communication is not genuine. And I mean, I always accept polite no thank yous also. But then I could be shooting myself in the foot. I don't know why. But anyway, people do actually act different on the internet. That's really the bottom line that I found. People will act different when they communicate with other people behind a screen of pixel. And I'm talking about the educated guy. And, you know, I probably had better conversations with just the blue collar person, hardworking person, you know, that's just ready to tell me how it is. But a lot more games seem to go on.
Well, that's not real encouraging for our female viewers.
No, it's not. It's not.
Because that kind of even negates the 17 or 21 hot dating questions when you're actually out there on your first date. But those kinds of questions can also come out during your messaging or on your emailing or on your phone call, beforehand. So I guess the question becomes, if you're not getting responses as a woman, Minkoff, even to those, let's call them open probes, because so many of those suggested questions as far as dating advice are so hokey, I would say I'm not really excited about that question. But
you mean favoriting somebody or poking them?
No, I'm just saying that there's so much advice about the right questions to ask. I think that there are some profound questions that can be asked that are not real violative, and yet they are open probes that give you a sense. Simple things like this. Tell me about your family. Tell me about how you were raised. I'm a family man. I was a single parent. I basically even raised two of my grandchildren for a while, and my parents imbued me with incredible love. And so for my part, I want to know that the woman I'm with, generally speaking, is going to be able to appreciate that kind of love. And candidly, that's often why I do not date women who have not had children, because then they cannot necessarily appreciate, and I'm going to get it for that one, they cannot fully appreciate my commitment to family and the ongoing importance of it. But it sounds really pretty hopeless if you can't even during the messaging or phone conversations, if 50% of the people aren't going to even respond back. So maybe, and I'm talking about from the female viewpoint.
Yeah, well, that is the way it is.
I find that women respond back beautifully.
Well, our makeup is to be more social. And I haven't really been able to clue into the male psyche to figure out what, I don't want to sit here and say, what am I doing wrong? Because, I don't really think I'm doing anything wrong. Because I'm very polite and usually very gentle and always say, I accept polite no thank yous. Could you just, and then I see that they've actually looked at my, I see them on my visitor. So I see that they saw my message. And still, when there is no return messages, say, this is a bad time, or, I was just goofing around. Saw your picture's kind of cute, So, just say your truth, for goodness sakes. I mean, if you're that flighty, well, then stand by your flightiness. I don't care. Just, so the part of the schooling is I put it on my profile after I didn't get a response by somebody who was well educated. Anyway.
You talking about me?
No.
Oh.
No, definitely not you. I don't remember what happened. That was a long time ago. And it's kind of like, FYI, if you favorite me or you put me on your meet me list or you give me 5 stars, it's really actually meaningless.
Well, maybe in that...
I know that it can have meaning because it's a way to say to somebody, hey, I looked at your profile and thought it was... that to me it says, I looked at your profile and thought it was great. I kind of like you to do the guy thing because I'm in this compromised position because I never know if I approach a guy, if he thinks, oh, she's needy. No, that's not it at all. I actually took some time to want to connect. And it's an effort. So I don't want to just waste my time doing emails back and forth with anybody. So I don't really know what it is, but the other line is it's a flatliner for me.
Do you respond back to every gentleman who writes you something as opposed to just flirts or nudges you?
Yeah, if they actually put a couple decent sentences together, good grammar, and it didn't look like they just text me because they're driving and they have to use you are and all these short little things. Then usually, I will say something and I'll let them know I read their profile and I'll let them know if I think there could be a possibility.
I would be dishonest to not say that those experiences that I've heard from other female friends online are not as cloudy and necessarily almost as doomsday as what you have described. They will relate, which I know we'll get into when you finally go on the date. I was absolutely confounded when you told me some of the things that men say even before, and that might be interesting. I thought I knew it all, but as far as the kind of things men say, might be interesting to explain because it blew me away, and I guess
I guess that would be like the really raunchy erotic reading night. I don't know if I've ever actually kept any of those emails.
And this is even before the date?
Oh, yeah, it's the introduction. I don't know how many times. I'm so happy. I've obviously crossed a threshold because I'm so happy I'm not getting any more text photos on my phone of men's
special
sections.
purpose.
Yep, special purpose. Yes. I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. I do believe most men have that going on.
I thought Anthony Weiner was out of politics.
Oh, it's pretty funny. And that's what women are subjected to, which is actually really, Bowie, if you really want to come down to it, women are subjected to sexual harassment every single day. And you might as well just hit that one on the nail. It's just yet another. So obviously I'm doing something right, because I haven't had one of those photos sent to me in a long time. And I'm so happy that does not happen.
Well, maybe that's because you took your breast shot down from the
Stop it.
profile.
I do not have a booby shot. No.
Well, maybe it would be important, Minkoff, for you to explain, or we have a short chat about how it really is not an equal playing field online for men and women, and how women justifiably and understandably have got to protect themselves.
You guys get the good stuff. You guys get the good stuff. And let me tell you, at this point, when you're telling me how women are online, I'm ready to go online and say I'm looking for a woman. I'm telling you now.
Well, we may have to change that Bill Withers song for "Use Me Up" to "Start Me Up" by the Stones if Minkoff keeps going this direction.
Well, if that's the direction it points.
I just don't think it's all doom and gloom for women to the extent to maybe.
That's why I'm doing the show.
Well, just for that, I'm going to email all my Facebook folks for next week when we get together, because I know they have opinions on this.
I love it. We're going to get a lot of opinions next week. And hey, we're going to do the show next week, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Oh, God, thank you so much, because we need some continuity here. And I'm going to tell you one thing. This show is going to totally freaking rock next week, because we're going to stir it up. We're going to get the emails coming in. I already see them. Let's see here. No, I'm not on that page yet. But this is really, this is the show I've always wanted to do. I want to thank you so much. I did start the show at the beginning, a year and a half ago, in my first beginnings of radio here at KOWS. Thank you very much, KOWS, for allowing Minkoff Shatoy be birthed on 12/12/12. Ooh, powerful numbers. Yeah. December 12th, 2012 was my first show. And my brother did it, Mike at the mic. He did a wonderful job. I mean, he is married, so the show didn't have that same energy, but he is great tech and brought in a lot of humor and a lot of wit that we have in our family. So that was pretty easy. So Mike at the mic, if you happen to be listening, you're always in my thoughts, and I always thank you so much for being there for me in the beginning of my show. Thank you. Always like to thank people. So we're really having the show that I've always wanted on internet dating and communicating.
Well, it's something that impacts all of us greatly, and not just people who are single. It's people who are married or who are partnered, who have friends, or may find themselves, as you and I found ourselves, suddenly single.
Well, I'm not sure suddenly is 10 years.
Oh, well.
12 years. I would say 12 years.
No, I meant with the whole boom dropped. But can you give us maybe a couple of ideas, Minkoff, in terms of what we'll be talking about next week, so that the listeners can maybe think about it?
Oh, yes. Well, I think we're going to continue with the messaging and communication. I think that's really important. That's the first touch point, other than your profile. You know, presenting yourself well is always, I think, the best approach. And then we'll talk more about messaging, so you can tell if you're somebody who doesn't mind wasting your time and going through all those volleys. I say right on. Chat rooms are really popular, and they have meaning, and it's a good way to kind of get out your other self or other selves. So I would be focusing on messaging And
maybe a little discussion, do you think, next week on the specific sites at that point in time?
Yes, we could go into different sites, what makes certain sites different, what are certain pluses and minuses about the different dating sites out there. You have a little more experience than me. I've always kept to the ones that didn't involve cashola.
And that'll be an interesting discussion because those that you pay for, I have found, for example, over the years, and we'll talk about it next week, that Match.com has a larger base of people in general.
Yes, it's true.
And yes, you do have to pay money for it. And I just find that people may be a little bit more serious about it, but I could be wrong because it's also a factor of economics. And it's, these are still hard times for so many folks.
And I think it is the same thing. If I went on Match, I definitely would be approached by a whole bunch of different type of people, men. Also, there's Craigslist, and that's I always call Craigslist the wild card. So there's a lot to be said there too.
And we might also talk about the various tools because some of the videos and such. Excuse me. Let's try it again. Some videos are allowed on some of the websites.
Oh, I like that. That's really great.
And well, no, you can't do that.
No.
That love dance thing that you do. But no, rather I kid. But rather, it allows you to actually do an audio of your voice. It allows you to necessarily do a video. And so I know that there's certain no cost, like Plenty of Fish and which I'm on, that don't offer those kind of features.
I know. And imagine me reading my profile. Never mind. No, don't imagine me reading my profile.
No, that's wondrous. Are we going to be talking about the actual dating process or not yet next week?
Oh, let's see how far we go. That first date.
Maybe the first date.
You like talking about that first date. Well, let's start with that.
We don't have. I think there's maybe some unfinished business yet on what we're talking
about.
Oh,
we have all kinds of unfinished business. That's why we are doing this show. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to allow you. I would like to ask for you. We have about 6 more minutes here for us to talk. And then I'm going to go ahead and say a couple more thank yous to you are listening to KOWS 107.3 FM, Minkoff Chatoy and Bowie. I said it wrong for the first time. Isn't that great?
That's okay.
Thank you. You're so kind and understanding.
Just go to extra confession on Sunday.
All right, I will.
Maybe some bonus genuflections.
Thank you. So, Cows Community Radio wants to thank Paula Reinhold, Stearns Lending. Paula Reinhold, Stearns Lending is one of our newest underwriters and thanks her for her generous support. Paula provides mortgage loans for purchase and refinance as well as consultations for credit and mortgage review. Products offered include conventional and government loans. You can find more about Paula Reinhold Stearns Lending by contacting her at 707-490-7322. That is 707-490-7322. And we'll do this one as our last one. Advanced Security, Cows Community Radio. Thanks, Advanced Security, for their support. Advanced Security is a family-owned firm providing security and fire alarm systems. Please say that you were referred by Cows. For more information, go to www.advancedsecurity.us or you can call them at 544-9200. 544-9200. And there you go. All right. Thank you very much. So, Bowie, what do you think of the show?
Well, I'm excited. I think that it's a start.
Yeah.
And I think that we are looking forward with the engagement of the community.
Yes.
And those callers calling in and, having full caveat to be able to
We got one.
to get one.
We
Okay,
got
here
a caller here. Hold on, caller. You'll be on the air in just a moment. Cows Community Radio, you're on the air. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Is this Minkoff?
This is Minkoff. Hi.
Well, thank you for taking my call. My name is Ayana,
Hi, Ayana.
and I've been listening all evening, and I thought I'd call in and say, I've never tried any of the online dating, and I do have a Facebook page. However, I wasn't out looking for anybody, and my personal criteria is finding out what a person is interested in and if we have mutual interest. And I think that having a Facebook page, you can check on a person, what they've posted, what they're doing, and you can get a feel for what a person's like.
So you're saying through your Facebook page, you feel like you get a lot more of that information?
Yeah, many years ago, long before there was an internet, I had looked in the newspaper and I saw a couple of posts of men looking for women that sounded interesting. And I answered a couple of the phone calls and we chatted on the phone, and this one guy invited me out. And it was a scary incident. Fortunately, I had a dog that was very protective, a big dog, and I took the dog with me. We were going to go out to dinner. And so when I approached his house, he was sort of shocked that I had this dog with me. But shortly after I stepped into his house, his neighbor comes over carrying a beer bottle, not in the way you'd carry one holding it when you're drinking it, but it was an empty bottle he was holding by the neck. And the minute he stepped in the door, my dog stood up and he said, oh, you've got a dog. And I thought to myself, ooh, I'm glad I do.
Well, Ayana, there's a couple of things that you've said that's very, very important. And if you, do you mind if I make some comments?
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, great, thank you. And do you mind if I go? Anyway, definitely, I do a little more investigating before I ever meet someone, and I'm sure you've kind of learned that also between emails and some phone calls, and also definitely number one dating rule is to always meet someone in a public place of public, unless you actually really have a ton of mutual friends and you feel very comfortable with each other to meet at a home or something a little more intimate. And yes, I understand about. I would be surprised too if somebody came and they brought a pet with them and they didn't tell me. So it is kind of, but I understand why you did it, so I would definitely be, you kind of want to tell your person, your whoever you're being with,